Welcome everybody watching. Welcome back to the MultiTap Gaming Podcast. Here again, everyone that you know: Chuxcks, CJ, Andersinho,
Come on.
Ams.
What's happening?
Thank you very much. We're gonna get straight into it, but before that, I'm gonna ask if you could like, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Hopefully, we can try and get up to like 10 likes for this video. So yeah, just make sure to hit that, and we're gonna get straight into the first topic, which is actually, I believe it should be our Ghost of Tsushima review. So we gave you our impressions earlier on in the week, or maybe was it last week? I believe it was. But yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. Ams has actually completed the game, so I'm gonna get him to go first, just so he gives a pretty good rounded review. So yeah, what's your thoughts?
The game was really good, really good. Overall, I say I don't know, it was kind of holding it back, and it was good at this, kind of good at the same time, was the open world aspect. I think this game would have looked better and performed better as a linear game. And the combat probably would have been better as a linear game, even though the combat was, in my opinion, elite level. I think they would have been even better if it was semi-open world or linear. What I can say is that I was never bored while playing this game. I'd done all the tells. For me, the most interesting part of the game were the side character tells with all of the supporting cast. Learning their stories, I think, really helped push the main story. And even while the mini side missions weren't as interesting, I think going back to them after I'd completed the game, it just gave me more to do and kept me in the world for longer. And I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I think, like I've said, this is currently my game of the year. For how much I've enjoyed it. I've really loved this game.
Wow, over The Last of Us, yeah?
Over Last of Us, yeah.
Wow.
I enjoyed it more than Last of Us.
That's a big statement. That's a big.
I
statement.
probably wouldn't give it. It's hard to say overall. It should deserves a higher score than Last of Us, but just for enjoyment's sake and for it being a game, what it done as a game, for me, it's game of the year.
What would you rate it out of 10?
I'll probably give it a very high 8 or a low 9.
Cool.
An 8.5. Yeah, that's it.
CJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back off what Amit just said about The Last of Us and this game in terms of what could be the game of the year. It's weird because The Last of Us, the acting, the story, everything about that game, overall, I'd give it like probably 9.5 as a total game. Whereas this one, although I'm enjoying the whole aspect of the game, I wouldn't rate it higher. But I feel like he said, I am definitely enjoying it more. I don't know if that's just because of the type of game it is. It's the type of game I like, where you can explore. There's so much room for the open world allows you to play the game you want to play it. And then I'm starting to understand, because at first I was hearing a lot about people just, rather than playing the game, they're using the photo stuff a lot and just sitting there and taking pictures of different aspects. And at first I was like, oh, that's just childish. But now, I sat there and I'll get to different places. I'm like, try a few things, and I'm not even just playing the game to get it through and get it finished. I'm actually trying to really, use every aspect and design that they've put into it. And then, when it comes to the combat, the fact that you can play with so many different styles and you get to choose how you want to play it. And although, in terms of the action, there's only kind of 2 main buttons you're using, it's like even seeing the command list to it and knowing that there's different variations of those moves and stuff. I really think that's enhanced this game altogether. It could have been very simplistic and just been, strike, but they've given you a lot more option there, and that is giving it top tier game for me. Still trying to work out where I feel in terms of the side mission to the main story. Is I don't even want to get to the main story because I don't really want the game to end. because it's such a large open world game and there's so much to explore. So yeah, at the moment I'm going to try to hold off as long as I can and keep this main story available so that when I do finish it, I don't want to have to come back. I want to feel like I've really given the game the full time it deserves. So yeah, good game. Sweet one.
And then I know that you've had like a revelation, so I'm I'm gonna go third just because I'm actually gonna be a little bit negative. I basically feel exactly the way that both of you feel, and CJ. I like the game a lot, like it more than I thought I was going to, even though it has its polish problems and stuff like that. But yeah, just the things that really just make it feel like, this game could have been so good is just something that we've said before. The facial animations and just like not even that it has to be the levels of The Last of Us, but it just needs to be decent, and I don't even think it reaches that. So that really that really holds it back for me. Another thing is the frame rate is just trash, man. Like it's the more I'm playing it, the more it's starting to annoy me, which is like, I know that I probably should have played this on a base PS4, but yeah, that's probably more of a, as a hardcore gamer and a person that actually like sees and knows about and feels those things the most, I probably shouldn't have played this on a base PS4. So yeah, that's probably a little bit my fault. But the third thing that is probably holding me back the most is like the combat is very good, don't get me wrong, but it comes back to the frame rate probably a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like I'm doing stuff and the game just is not registering what I'm doing. I'm like, and I know that I'm doing it. I know that I'm doing it. Like the spare guys, yeah. Oh my gosh, I wanna kill them. Like the spare guys. I know I'm blocking. Not even blocking. I know that I'm parrying at the right time because I've got I've leveled up my that stance to the point where yeah, I can counter that, and I know I'm doing it, and I'm still getting hit. And because I'm playing on hard, it's like, yeah, I'm getting hit once or twice, and it's like, yeah, you're dead. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I swear to God, if this game didn't have short loading times, I would have freaking deleted this from my PS4.
It was good.
So yeah, it's just that's just how I feel. But the sandwich it, positive, negative, positive. The game is still very good. I would probably rate it higher than The Last of Us as well, just because it's my type of game where there's a lot of things to do. I'm clearing out camps and stuff like that, and it's just a fun game. Like, yeah, I'm even enjoying the stealth because I'm kind of doing it in like a action way as well, where I'm just running up to people, and you get that split second where you can still assassinate them. So I'm stabbing them in the neck and ducking out. Yeah, it's just still fun. But yeah, go on.
Cool. So so obviously last week when we done our first impressions, I was saying that I didn't really like the game kind of thing. I wasn't really enjoying it. So I've played for a week now, and I've nearly completed. I've probably got, I don't know, maybe about 3-4 hours left, and I can honestly say that this is the most overrated game I've ever played.
What?
This game is it's an okay game.
Yeah,
it's an okay game, and that's about it, to be honest.
I thought you were positive. I thought you had a revelation.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I think I've been playing it the past week. Yeah, one thing I will commend the game on is, even though I haven't really been enjoying it, it is quite hard to put down, and I think it's partly because there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's a lot of stories, but the main story is trash. I'm enjoying the side stories. I'm enjoying getting the armors and getting new swords and new weapons and all of that kind of stuff. But the main story is just dead. It's literally every mission is we need to take over this fort or take over this bridge. Okay, let's recruit so and so. Let's go use the bow and arrow, kill these people, come in, kill them with a sword. Cool, we've taken over the fort. Oh, we need to take over this fort. and all you're doing is just going north and north and north and north. That is literally what the whole game has been for me. There's been no innovation. Like every mission is the same. The only innovation that I've seen here is that, okay, one day you can choose to either sneak in or you can choose to just go in all guns blazing. That's it. There is nothing else. The game is literally the same. And like, to echo on what Tony was saying about the frame rate, the frame rate of this game, I swear to God, sometimes, I'm ready to punch my TV. I swear to you, especially when you're doing one-on-one battles with one-on-one duels with a boss or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pressing L1 to block. No, it's not registering. I'm pressing circle to dodge. No, it's not registering. The game is jumping. Like, obviously, I don't want to give any spoilers here, but I think the first major boss that you fight on a one-on-one duel, I died 15 to 20 times. Literally, the game is not registering what I'm asking the game to do. Kind of thing in it, like, and it's just getting on my nerves. Like every time I do the one-on-one duels, I hate it. I would say I've liked the combat. I enjoy the fact that obviously there's 4 different there's more stances, but like there's different stances you can choose to use for different situations, whatever. But when you really deep it, it's literally the same. Someone comes with a shield, R2 and circle. Someone comes with a spear, R2 triangle. Someone comes with a sword, R2X. And it's literally the same. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Hold L1, parry. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Hold L1, parry. Triangle, triangle. Like, it's literally the same thing in it. Like, the game is honestly, I think it's the most overrated game. I don't even want to start with the facial animations of that game.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Stop, it's already dead.
The best thing about the game is, the sceneries in that game, A1. Like sometimes, like, you're just going through a forest, or like, I can't remember what shrines, I think the Shinto shrines or something like that. But like when you finally climb the top of the mountain, and like that is when like they show you like the whole island or whatever, and you look at it, you're like, this is top class. Like it looks beautiful, kind of thing in it. And I think those kind of moments, I haven't really played around with the camera mode or anything like that. So, but I can really see why someone would want to use the camera mode in those kind of moments, kind of thing in it. And the scenery is beautiful. But then when I come back down that mountain and then come back to fighting again, I'm just like, oh, what is this game?
Where would you rate the combat in terms of like different things?
So when I first started, one thing I'll say, because obviously I think all of us are doing a hard year. When I first started and I was dying left, right, center, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like I need to put this on normal mode, because but I think, luckily I persevered or whatever, and then obviously once you get stronger, it's like it becomes a bit easier. But when I first started, I was like, the combat is sick, kind of thing. Like it's very engaging and all of that, and I still think it's good. I think there's a bit of depth to it, but for me, it's now gotten to a point. Because my character's quite strong now, it's now gotten to a point where it's literally parry, triangle, triangle, square, square, whatever. Like I'm trying my best to use the ghost weapons and use different weapons and stuff like that, but 99% of the time it's literally triangle, triangle, square, square, whatever it is, and move away, use the kunai, whatever it is, and kind of thing. So, but the combat is good. It is good. Yeah, that's what I'll give it.
I guess it's just about the way you take advantage of it, isn't it? Like, if you want to get through it, it's easy to just kill them off and keep moving. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I was trying to keep this one to myself. When I first started this game, boy, the amount of times I died.
This game.
But I wasn't deep in. Like now, you lot are saying about when you're actually dodging and it's not dodging. And I'm thinking, I thought I was just messing up. And I actually, there was one day I just said, all right, we're gonna just stay. We're gonna go for this. Whether it's an hour, whether it's 2, 3, 4, I'm going to kill this person. And I was just like, at what point do I accept I'm just not good at games at this stage? I was thinking, nothing is not right. there is parts of it where I feel like I kind of oversee it or like ignore the fact that there's parts I don't like. Like I said to you, picking up items and it just disappears into dust. To me, yeah, I don't know why, but it's just something I can't stand it. I hate.
I love that. I love that.
I
don't want animations to. Say that again.
Ease of use in open worlds. A lot of them tend to get rid of the picking up animation.
Yeah, I'd rather it just disappear. Don't fade into dust like it was magic or I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
I don't really like that part. And then, like, you know, when I was walking through the trees and stuff, and I'm just like, I just don't really. I don't know what. Obviously, you can't really do anything about it because if you was on a horse and you're trying to ride through these big open areas and you back into the tree, you'd be dead every 3 minutes because your horse would be down. You'd never be able to play it. But I think because of the scale of the game, I'm looking at it for perfection. I'm wanting everything to, flow and sit right. And that alongside, you go into a scene and with no animation and no emotion in the person's face. I'm just kind of like, there's so many little things I feel have been missed or overlooked because they felt like they've put so much into the game. And that's why it doesn't get like the top level that rating for me, because I feel like that little bit of time spent on maybe not making the game so large, but just putting a bit more effort into those parts could have made it a top tier game for me. But yeah, it's like I'm trying not to be criticized. I don't want to criticize the game because I want it to be, as much as I'm enjoying it, I want to say yes, this is it. This is my game of the year. But I don't at the moment. The animation and the emotional scale that Last of Us gave me, I'm still sticking Last of Us game of the year.
Okay. And okay, now that we've got to that point, we've got Am's score, but we didn't get everyone else's. Andersinho, your score?
Right now, I'll give it a 6.5.
Oh,
Wow.
And the game is overrated.
And CJ.
I'm probably at 8, maybe 8.3. I'll give it right now.
Okay.
Let me get through a couple more and I'll see.
And I'll give it 8 out of 10 as well. And thank you for that, because that means that I was right. This is a 8 out of 10 game. This is a Sony mid. I was right.
The question is, are you right?
Do your averages correctly. That doesn't give you an 8 as a
It does.
You know that.
I've said 9 out of 10. You said 6.5.
Technically, I was right because the user scores on 9.3 out of 10. So I was right technically.
Yeah, I think for other people say the game is a very good game, and I can understand why some people love it, innit? Like I said before, last week, I haven't really had a good experience with the game, and it might be because I'm using PS4 Slim. But
I've had no problems with frame rates, so I play.
But this game, like, I'm like, you need to come to my house and play with me, and you can see what I'm seeing on the TV.
That's real.
I think having good solid frame rates has gotten me to the point where I could experiment. I've experimented the whole way through to the final missions where I was using incorrect stances on different enemies where it wouldn't work with them, but to see which moves I could break the defenses down with. So I spent the whole game experimenting, so maybe that helps me to enjoy it even more. I never went in and just triangle. It was always, how do I get around him? Who should I take out here? Who do I take out to make this fight easier? I was always thinking of how do I experiment when I'm playing. This person
what you're saying is Andan's not creative.
I'm saying his frame rate made the combat more difficult.
No, the funny thing is that I'm doing literally the same thing. Like certain fights, like stuff like the archers, so I need to make sure I get rid of them first because they're so annoying and stuff like that. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. The frame rate, man, it really spoils the game, man. It really does spoil the game, man. Especially with the one-on-one duels, like it is so bad.
See, I love the one-on-one duels. Every time they came, I got excited. But I think
they should have added at least one more animation for the one-on-one duels, man. Because every time it's the same. Like the first time you see it, like like it's time in it, and then after that, then it's the same animation every time you do the duel.
You can't skip it either.
Yeah. But I'm holding X, middle button, everything. Like I just want to skip the cutscene, please. Please, I don't want to see it. Oh.
But yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next topic. But just to close it out, I just want to say that I was right about that, and I was also right.
Game ever.
And I was also right about 60 frames being needed. So yeah, just
30 frames would have made it all right for Andan. He's going below 30 frames that made it a problem. You're wrong twice.
Speaking about 60 frames per second, the Xbox showcase that they showed, all of their games apparently are going to be running at 60 frames per second. And that Halo Infinite gameplay that they showed was running at... I'm laughing because I know what Andan's going to say. Oh man, let's just get straight into it. To be honest, they opened up with Halo Infinite. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts?
Wait,
Andan, I'm gonna get you to go first.
Okay, so yeah, obviously we watched it live, and I think when they were streaming it live, it was 1080p. Yeah. So I was saying when I watched the Halo Infinite trailer, I remember saying that we shouldn't really judge it yet until they upload it properly and then we watch it back in 4K or whatever. So obviously after the thing, I've watched it back in 4K or whatever, and the game looks trash.
That's what I told you. It doesn't look good.
I have to apologize because I've gone to Emlek and Tony. I was like, no, you can't judge the game based on the stream kind of thing in it, which I still believe you shouldn't judge it just on a stream in it. But from watching it again, it did not. I don't know. It's kind of making me still rethink like what next gen is supposed to be kind of thing in it, and especially because I think Xbox have already said it's about the frames next gen. A lot of them are going to be 60 frames and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at the game thinking that I want to see like photorealistic environments and stuff like that. And I'm not seeing it kind of thing. But maybe it might feel different when I play the game. But from when I saw the trailer again, I was like, nah, this is not it. Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
I think it's their cross-generational thing that hurt it.
Yeah.
I think when I looked at it, it looked like the biggest problem in it was the lighting. The game just looked so flat and terrible. And I assume it should look good. It should have looked good on a Series X if they bought it for a Series X because they can do hardware-based ray tracing.
Apparently, just to confirm as well, sorry to interrupt you, it was running on a PC, just to let you know. Well, it actually wasn't running on an Xbox One or an Xbox Series X. That
PC,
demo was
right?
on a PC, yeah. It was
Wow.
just on a PC.
That's even worse.
The whole situation that way, and I don't want to say it. But yeah, that they couldn't get a new build of the game altogether on the Xbox Series X, so they had to run it on a PC. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the game just... I went back... after the stream, I went back and watched it, and I just wasn't impressed, man. It's hard to say, but like, again, if I go back to Last of Us, when I also have Last of Us, a game looked like Last of Us at 30 frames, or look at that, like that at 120, I'm taking Last of Us at 30 frames looking games.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a problem. A game that's running on hardware that's weaker than your strongest last-gen console should not look better than a game that's meant to run on your next-gen super powerful console. I think that's terrible.
Yeah, I agree. CJ, I'm gonna let you go because I feel like you're gonna keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, no, I was going on. You know, when I said to you, and I was like, I'm watching it, and I feel like I was sitting back at my granddad's house back in the day when I was playing the first ever Halo, and that's the design and that's the animation they're going for. And so it feels like, one step forward, 3 steps back. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm looking at this game expecting, I feel like my problem is wrong with my idea of what next gen will be, in the sense that I'm expecting realism and a lot more just taking it away from animation altogether, and every game should kind of be like, the acting and the scale of design that The Last of Us has, and that kind of stuff. And because of that, when I see games and I see different styles of animation and different palettes and stuff, and I'm thinking, what is this like? What is this when it comes to next gen? Where is the improvements? What am I looking for here? And I guess, like you're saying, that the importance of the frame rate is where I need to start to understand that a bit more. Because maybe when I play the game and I start, I didn't play a lot of the last few Halos, to be fair. I haven't played Halo for a long time, but maybe someone that has been playing it, is that the difference between playing maybe Modern Warfare 2 to playing the new Black Ops now, like, is going to be a lot of difference in terms of the smoothness of playing, the action, the gameplay, and everything. So those gamers that like that game are going to notice a big difference. But for me, I'm looking at this like there's no rule. I'm not impressed at all, to be honest. I'm just not. I'm just really not. Oh yeah, that's me.
The game looks.
What do you think?
The game looks absolutely trash. Do you know what? I wanted to believe Andan so bad when we were watching this live. I wanted to believe him. I was like, yeah, nah, this can't be next gen, nah. And I was like, nah, we have to wait. I was like, yeah, look, to be honest, Kena was a game that I wasn't interested in until I saw the 4K trailer. And then I was like, oh yeah, this looks sweet. I went back and watched this Xbox, but to be honest with you, it wasn't even the trailer. People started posting screenshots on Twitter and everything. Oh my gosh, it's just not a good looking game. I'm even surprised that this was running on a PC. Like, why does it look like this on a PC? This is higher end than the Xbox Series X, so it doesn't make sense. It wasn't graphically anyway.
The PC it was running on, they say it wasn't a. Well, it's been rumored that it wasn't a performance PC. It was like one for tools and debugging and stuff like that. That's why it looked like that. But I don't know about that, because they also came out and said that there will be a patch to add ray tracing. There'll be a free patch to add ray tracing when it comes out. So who knows what's going on, man?
Yeah, that may be the case. I'm just really disappointed in you. If anything, I just wanted them to compete with Xbox, and they're just not doing it. Like I said it during the stream as well. I was just like, we have to put respect on Sony's name, clearly, because it's clearly very, very difficult to make games that people will be interested in, because like they make it like year after year after year, and these Xbox people can't even do it when they're like. Ever really, to the point where we're just
they could still compete, just not with that trash.
It's not good, considering this is like your flagship game as well, and it's coming out. It's looking like still this generation kind of game, innit? So Microsoft they really need to sort themselves out, otherwise I think they've got 4 or 5 months before Xbox comes out or whatever. They need to show something proper. They need to do something seriously. Otherwise, they're going. I think literally from day one they've lost again, kind of thing. Innit? I think they've already lost to be honest. Anyway,
I don't think Sony are too far ahead, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. They didn't have to show something to compete. They had to show something to say we're moving ahead.
We're still here. So
it's rough. It's very rough. And the rumors of Fable being an MMO, boy, put the whole thing in the bin, man. I was holding on to that game. How can you ruin everything in one show? Everything.
I can't remember what else they showed.
To be honest with you, like that's pretty much the only game that they really showed gameplay of. So there's nothing really else to talk about. But
it wasn't. Sorry to cut you off. I'll say
No.
the positive thing we need to focus on, which I don't know how it's going to work for developers, but it will very much so work for the consumers, is that all of those games are going to be free on Game Pass. And I think that's a revelation. I don't know how it works for the developers. I don't know if they'll be happy with that. They have to. They own you, so they do what they want. So I think it's going to be very good for us, the Game Pass thing.
I think I can pretty much answer that because they're under Xbox's umbrella now. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna throw money at you. Don't worry about money anymore. Don't worry about making an income. They're thinking about the long game. They're thinking more, all right, we need to keep giving people value. That way, I'm gonna tell all of you about Game Pass. Then you guys are either gonna think, okay, I might as well get the cheap Xbox that's gonna come out next year, or I might go and build my own PC. I'll pay for Xbox Game Pass, which I wasn't gonna think about buying anyway, and then you'll see the value in it, and then you'll go and tell a couple of people that you don't play games.
Ultimately,
the developers only get a certain amount of money anyway. They're not going to get what you expect they get off sales overall. I mean, a lot of them pumped in with a flood of money. This is what you're going to get to develop the game. This is what you're going to be paid to do it. After that, they're not getting individual commission.
No, they do. They actually give them a lot of money to make the game at the beginning, and then if the game probably gets played, I'm gonna assume it's played because they're thinking about Game Pass wise. If the game gets played by a certain amount of people, there's probably a bonus there for them some type. That's how the Last of Us 2 and all PlayStation developers studios actually work. They usually get a bonus if their game probably hits a certain amount of score, or it has a certain amount of players. But that's how that works.
My only worry is that what happens down the line. Let's say the Game Pass helps them get the biggest share in the gaming industry. Did they then say we're on top? Let's push these prices up. That's my only worry.
That's them. That's up to them. With you, I think it's they're going down a road where it hasn't been made yet. The road hasn't been made, so they can kind of dictate it. There's no competitors either anywhere near. So, whether really and truly,
they could take 4 or 5 different routes with it and see which one works best. I know the eventually on board.
It's all their plan to get back all the market share they lost, right?
Yeah.
So let's say they get into PlayStation's position where let's say they have 70% of the market. They're in a position, EA position, where they can just do what they want. So I'm worried once they get to that point, or if they get to that point, they then screw over the consumers. At the moment, I don't want to put them down for doing something so good for consumers, but
I think this place, the gaming industry, as in us, the hardcore players, are so savvy when it comes to this thing. If you make one wrong move, we're onto you. So you haven't. Yeah.
They do it all the time. Even to this day, the developers will take microtransactions out, let the reviews come out, then a month down the line, drop them back in.
And then
after that,
and then people get onto them anyway. So people.
Who sees it? They've already sold, let's say 4 million. They've done their job.
Really and truly, when we really think about it, EA are doing what they're doing now because people, we see them as the scummiest people on earth, or were. Sorry to say this, EA, if you're watching, that you are, but we see them that way. So because we see them that way, and we're so in the trenches, other people look at them, and normal people will find out this information and say, "Yeah, I'll stay away from that." That's the case.
Sometimes,
and we're because. Well, yeah, most of the time, to be honest, that's why they're changing now. They're changing the way that they make their games. They're making more Star Wars single player games.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
I think that's because they got to Disney, and Disney said this ain't happening. But if you look at let's say sports games, for example, they've been doing what the hell they want, and they're not changing because people are still going to buy those games.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's a worry. It could go either way. Someone at the top could say no, we're ruining our reputation. Someone could also say, screw them, they're still going to buy it.
Yeah, you haven't got a choice when it comes to sports games at the end of the day, innit? So it's either you buy it or you don't play the game, innit? Whereas something like Star Wars or whatever, it's up to you whether you like it or not. And you can decide not to buy it, or you can buy a different type of Star Wars game. Innit? So,
Can I ask you, is there ever such thing as a perfect game? As in, because I think of sports games, there's only so much more they can push in terms of the limitations of the game before it becomes non-real, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, if they start adding any more to it, you know, someone's not going to be happy with it. If you change the defending from what it is to something else, someone's not going to be happy. If you change the attacking, same applies. Like, ultimately, there's only so much they can do with the game without, if you basically do too much, you can have a negative effect. So, like,
I think
I don't think they're perfect games, but I think that if they make any more changes, it's not going to go in their favor.
I think they make the best choice.
Gameplay changes. It's more about, if you're not going to change the gameplay much, then why have none of the modes changed?
Yeah.
Why are you still charging this much for this stuff? You haven't had to work that hard this year. Just putting out the same game.
Where they're trying to get the microtransactions.
Pro Club's been the same for 5 years.
Yeah, but they know they're going to get the money from it, and it's kind of like, again, while they're going to change their formula, which allows them to bring out a game where they don't have to change any of the standard mode, and they're going to get so much more money from the microtransactions. If they try and make it better, for whatever you would call better, it could end up having a negative effect, really.
Well, it's capitalism, innit? Financially, it just makes sense, innit? Like why spend more of my money and my time when I could do basically the same thing and earn more money? I might just do that. It don't make sense, innit? Like, kind of thing. You're still gonna buy it. You got the mugs. You're still gonna buy it. You're still gonna put money into Ultimate Team, whether I do anything different to it. So, I'm gonna continue doing that, innit? Yeah, I don't need to change anything. So until people start speaking with their wallets and just say, I'm not buying it on release day or whatever, I don't care, innit? So
that's what I'm saying. So go back to that point. Does that make it the perfect game? A game they know you've got control of you, where you're going to buy it anyway every year.
I think a sports game is hard to make it the perfect game. Whereas a single player game, you can choose the way you want the player to experience it or whatever. But with a sports game or a multiplayer game, especially, like, some people might complain about the game and they might not be good at the game. But because they're not good at the game, they say, oh, well, I tried to defend this way and the game doesn't allow me. But in FIFA 15, I used to be able to do that. So this is why the game's not good anymore, kind of thing. It's like, you're never going to win, kind of thing, innit? So,
I think that tactic works until you get competition. Once you get competition, then you have to change the way you're doing things. So maybe FIFA will change. Maybe if Konami don't be like Konami, and when they switch the Fox engine, they release a game that's far and beyond any football game that's been released, that will make EA think, oh crap,
it's time to make a change.
Yeah. Let's I want to get back on the topic with that, but
Microsoft.
just because I want to get a gauge of how the ROM is feeling. It's very true what Am said. We have to realize that all of the games that Xbox actually showed, they're all going to Game Pass. So do we feel like they can compete with that against the PS5 next gen? Do we think that's the case?
I do. I think that's a very strong move. I think you ultimately, for someone who wants to get more bang for their buck, you buy a Game Pass, and usually you'd buy one game and you might just stick with it and not choose to buy something else or whatever. But you're going to be opened up to a whirlwind of more games and more stuff to play. So, I mean, I guess I don't really know the prices just yet, but ultimately I think it's going to be a lot more cost effective to have the Game Pass than to be buying games every week. So yeah, as a no-brainer for someone that knows that they like playing multiple different games, having an Xbox and a Game Pass just makes sense. But then for the standard games that you like to play with your mates, like the multiplayer ones, and you grab a PlayStation and you do what you'd normally do, which is buy those for 4 or 5 games, and that's it for the whole of every year. Yeah, I think they could win a lot more of the market with individual gaming, with individual like story mode games. I think they're gonna. You'll see a lot more people playing them on Xbox than you will PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense, man. You just spend what £10 to £15 a month. You get AAA, AA games, and all of that kind of stuff. And the funniest thing is, you're probably more inclined to spend that £10 to £15 a month. But if a AAA game came out for £50 a month, or for £50 every 3 months, some people might not even want to pay that. But because you're just paying £10 to £15 a month, you're like, oh, that's fine. Like, it can go out of my account. And before you know it, you spend that amount of money that you would have spent on that one game in 3 months' time, or kind of thing, innit? So, but plus you've got access to tens or hundreds of games on top of that as well. So I think it's a sick move, to be honest, man. If all of those AAA games come out on Xbox Game Pass, it's a sick move. Yeah, sick move.
For me, I think the Game Pass is... So there's two sides to it. I think the Game Pass itself is for it will bring in a very specific crowd. So if you only play third-party games and you're not going to be playing these exclusive to a console, you're just going to go where your friends are, be it Stadia, be it PS5, be it Series X. I think it's very good for people who already own or want an Xbox. I also think it's very dependent on the quality of the games they're releasing. Because if they do £15 a month, but you're getting a lot of not very good quality games, it might not be worth it. I think the service itself is a very good idea, and I think I'll get it if I get my Series X. What the biggest thing to come from this, I think, is that if this is successful, then it puts pressure on Nintendo and Sony to do the same. And then if we live in a world where we can pay, if let's say you only like Nintendo and Microsoft games, you get those two consoles, you pay £30 a month, you get all of the exclusive first party games that come to them. That could be a very good world for those people. And yeah, I think there's different aspects to it that line up in different ways, but yeah, overall it's a good thing.
I do hope. Sorry, Tony, to cut you in. I was just thinking, I'll let you finish your point first. Go on, Tony.
No, go on. I was just going to agree with everything that you said, but
if they go into a world where it's only Game Pass, would that ruin it for a lot of people that can't afford to pay for something like that monthly, and for the children that save their money to buy a console? Like, they don't have jobs, they don't have money coming in every month. How are they going to maintain this lifestyle where they can continue to pay? Some people's parents will buy it for them, but not everyone will. So if you can't...
Sorry. To answer your question, in my head, it's a subsidiary plus. So if you can afford it, you will. But let's say you only want to play one PlayStation exclusive a year, or one Xbox exclusive a year, you couldn't just buy the full disc or buy the full digital download and just play that. I don't see, for me, it won't be the main thing going forward, because you can't force EA to put FIFA on there. You can't force 2K to put 2K on there. So there's certain games that you won't be able to get on there anyway. So I think it's just another option for gamers. The more options we get, the better. And I think it's good to have that extra option where we're getting all these first party stuff.
Because I think it could be an easy cop-out. They could just say, yeah, these are the games that are coming to Game Pass, just to get loads of people to join Game Pass. And then that's it. No more AAA games, no more AA games come on there for months. And it could be one every 6 months. And all of a sudden, I don't know if there's contracts to this, but you could be tied into a contract for Game Pass for a whole year and you don't get anything out of it. Do you know what I mean?
It could be rough. Even if you look at the exclusives for both consoles, there's been regardless of quality, let's not discuss quality, but there's been a lot of exclusive releasing each year for each console. So you're paying what, 180?
Oh yeah, around 121. Yeah, 180.
Yeah.
So you're paying 180 a year, and PS4 this year you would have got 5 games already this year. So you've already made your money back.
Pretty much, yeah.
Same with Microsoft. They released quite.
Decided to put it on there.
If they do it like Microsoft, then it's all their first party games. So the first year of Microsoft, they had like a bunch of Microsoft exclusives. So you would have made your money back in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
So I think it will work for some people. For some people, it just won't. They don't want to play those games. No matter what console it is, they just want to get there. Every year they want to get FIFA, they want to get COD, and they want to get Madden, and that's all. That's all they want.
Very true. All right, let's get on to another subject that I feel is going to be very saucy, or it could be very bland. let's find out. Ubisoft came out with some interesting reports this week, basically speaking about how games and females do not mix, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much saying that females as main characters do not sell well. So, how do we feel about that? I'm gonna get you to go. I'm gonna get you to go first, CJ, because I've asked both of them to go first with the other subjects.
Females in games. I don't feel like I put on a game and the first thing I'm thinking of is what type of character is like gonna affect this whole game overall. But I do believe that when I get the choice between the male and the female character, I do tend to go towards the male character because I don't know, I feel like it's more of a, what is it called, a representation of me as the character, if that makes sense. Like I want to play as what I would do, so playing as a female just doesn't seem like, yeah, that doesn't fit what I'm going to do. So I don't know if that's how everyone thinks when they play games, but that's how my mindset always works out. If I do want to play the female character at a later stage, if I know that they have different moves or variation of a style, then I would choose it based on style. But a lot of the time it's just the same moves, same style, so I'd end up choosing the male character. Overall, there are some games that I say like Tomb Raider, and if they change Tomb Raider to a guy, I'll be like, well, what is this? Doesn't make any sense to me. That Tomb Raider is
not Tomb Raider anymore.
The game is that. And I guess, well, yeah, basically it's Uncharted instead. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a weird one. I don't think it will sell less games, but I think it might be harder to draw in certain groups of gamers.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying as well. In terms of if I have a choice between a male and a female, I would tend to normally go with a male because I feel that they're more of a representation of myself. The only reason why I would probably go with the female would probably be through research into the game. If me using the female gives me a different experience of the game and one that I think will be a bit more enjoyable than using the male character, then I'll go with the female. But if it's literally going to be the same story, 99 out of 100 times I'm going with the male kind of thing in it. But I don't think if the game is solely with a female lead, I don't think that tends to affect sales. I think the way that the gaming companies portray females in games and stuff like that, for me, I feel like a lot of the time they try to make them look a bit sexy. They try to sexualize them and stuff like that. And I feel that helps themselves because games tend to generally be, well, it's only now that it's changing, but games tend to generally be men. And a lot of the time they're straight men as well. So a lot of straight men will be happy to play as a sexualized female kind of thing. So I don't think that having a female lead character really affects games that much. Maybe if you had a black female character, that's a whole different story. but white females, I don't think that really affects them. To be fair, yeah.
It could even increase the sales in some aspects as well for some people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much I saw one photo of, I can't remember where it was, but I basically saw a photo, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Not the exact photo that I'm talking about, but where there's a bunch of characters that are just on the screen, and they're all doing different stuff, and there's like hundreds of them, all doing different stuff. There's Nathan Drake, there will be like a Duck Hunt Dog, Mario, and somebody's drawn all of these, and they're all doing something. Somebody's playing volleyball, and someone's drinking a pina colada. Like those kind of. I'm trying to set the scene. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? And they're all pretty much main characters, some side characters, obviously. And then what I did, I actually saw it, and I was like, "This is so awesome." The art was like really good. Like you just go through it, picking out all the characters and just seeing what they're doing. It was just fun to do that. And then probably this is the problem with being a black person and also being on a cast with all black people. But maybe we should get some female representation in here, or like diversity. I don't know. but like what I was thinking was like, how many like I went to the bottom, I went to the bottom and thought, how many black females would I see? Yeah. And then I don't think I saw one. I don't think I saw one black female. I think I saw like
Nadine didn't make the cut.
Yeah, I don't think she did. I don't think she did. And I was looking for, and then I went to black males, and I went to Asian women, and then Asian men. Obviously, it was like black women. I don't remember seeing any. I think I saw maybe like one black male. I think I saw like, I saw a few. Oh, CJ's just gone. Okay, there it is. I think I saw I think I saw like a couple Asian men. There was obviously a lot of Asian women there. There was a lot of Asian women. And then just white males, white females.
Yeah, white females, that's it.
They were just the maximum representation. But then I think the most upsetting part probably was like when I actually thought, let me look how many like animals or just like made up characters and stuff like that there were. And like I was like,
more than black men.
Yeah, of course. And I was just like, no, there was more than black women, there was more than black men. I think there was even more than like women overall.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was just like, wow, man, it's nuts. Even the animals and creatures and stuff, most of them are males as well. So it's like you'll be very rare to see like a lot of female characters. So yeah, it was just like, I think that it comes down to both the people that are making these games. It's obviously going to be the male dominated, and also white male, and then it's going to be like maybe white females. Like if you saw a developer team group photo, majority are white males. Like, do you know what I mean? So I understand. I don't agree though. I've played a few games. I'm not gonna say a lot, but I've played a few games where it's like, I don't think, oh my gosh, I wish this was a male character, or I'm not gonna play this game. I'm not really interested in it because it's a female character. Do you know what I mean? So I don't agree. I don't think it's true. I don't know why that would even be a thought in someone that works in the industry, that is probably has more of an ear to the ground than me. It's just a bit nuts that's the case, really. I think it's very true though. I feel like we should get some diversity in here.
It's needed.
Yeah,
100%.
For
some.
Yeah, I'll
at least 8 female gamers. Come on.
Maybe we can, but yeah, I just. I think I can. I think I can.
Yeah,
especially I think from England as well. So let's do that. I'll try and do that. But yeah, I just wanna. Go on.
Can I ask? Do you think? I don't know what the story for The Last of Us 3 will be, but if they decided to do a story which was Abby and the little kid, and that was the journey, are they going to lose all the cells that they would have had?
I think they do. I think they do. I think they
I don't
do.
think that's fair because Abby is hated.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
think
that's.
as the main character.
I don't think that's. I agree.
That would
I
be
don't think
the
it's fair.
worst thing they could do.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
they're
I
gonna
don't
do
think
that.
they're going to do that. But I'm just saying, if they did do it, would that ultimately, would you say, is that enough for a lot of people to say, I'm not buying this game? Because a lot of people have a lot to say. They have a lot to say, but when the game comes out, they still buy it. So,
They do tend to normally have a lot to say, but people already hate Abby for what
Maybe
she
should
did.
have-
And
know.
also, they don't like Abby. They don't like Abby attractively as well. On top of that, so yeah, that one you're gonna that's big trouble for Naughty Dog. Big trouble. Yeah,
I don't.
That's a waste of money.
They'd kind of be right in saying that, you know, if they brought a different character into a new game with that kind of Abby perspective as a person, they could potentially lose a lot of sales.
No, but that's not. That's a
Bad.
bad example. I feel like that's a very very bad example because that
That's
character.
very specific. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a very specific type of character that's hated now because of a whole story and stuff. But I'm saying, yeah, okay. So do you think if she didn't have that story, it could be effectively different?
Yeah,
I think that if she didn't have that story, and they now said, okay, yeah, we're making a new The Last of Us, and it's with different characters, and they put those characters in as Abby and Lev, I think it will still sell as well as it did.
Come on, really?
No way.
I think it still would sell as well as it did.
Did Uncharted Lost Legacy sell like Uncharted 4?
That's not the same.
It's not
That's like
man.
that's like saying Miles Morales isn't gonna sell because it's a Miles Morales. Do you know what I mean? As well as
Miles Morales will sell.
It will sell. Yeah, it's not
PS4.
gonna sell as much as Spider-Man 1. I just feel like I hear what you're saying. I just don't feel like it's because they're female that would be the case. And I also disagree and then with the whole females being sexualized in video games. I don't think that's true, and I disagree with that. So yeah, but yeah, that's my views.
You are
ever happens.
Huh?
You don't think it ever happens?
I think it happens. I just don't think it happens as much as you guys think it is. I don't want
the whole game about women playing beach volleyball.
As I said, it happens. It happens, but it doesn't happen as much as you think it does.
As well.
Okay, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Let's think of 3 female characters, main characters that are sexualized.
Lara Croft, Jill from Resident Evil 3.
Lara Croft is not sexualized. Who was the second one? Who was the second one? Who was the second one?
Tony.
Who was the second one? Who was the second one? Wait, who was the second one? Who was the second one? Who was the second one?
Jill from Resident Evil.
Jill from
Resident Evil 3.
I don't think she's sexualized either.
Why is she wearing a mini skirt? Oh, she's a police officer. Shouldn't she wear tactical armor like Leo?
Which one is this? Is this 3 or is this
3.
Resident Evil 3?
Yeah,
I'm sure you can pick any female from Street Fighter. Pick any female from Street Fighter.
I said 3 main character females.
Okay, main character.
Abby's the main character.
Abby.
Cammy.
Oh,
From
Cammy.
Street Fighter.
No, I said main characters. This guy went to another fighting game.
Chun-Li, either her or Chun-Li is the main female in that game.
Who?
Choose one. Either her or Chun-Li. Both of them.
Really and truly.
Oh yeah, and Aloy as well. She's sexualized as well. Yeah.
Aloy is not. None of these characters are sexualized. This is my point. You guys.
Why does she have a cropped top armor? How does that protect her?
Bro, look, listen, yeah. I'm saying I can't come back from that one, but let me say.
At least you're honest.
Let me say that I don't feel like the majority of female main characters are sexualized. I just feel like that's the way that we view it. I gave an example earlier off stream saying how we all watch football. We all see male characters as just average guys, but a lot of those footballers are actually attractive. When you have a girl around, or your girlfriend or wife, they will find those footballers attractive. We also look at female footballers as attractive. They're doing the same job, they're doing the same role, doing the exact same thing, but we see them as attractive.
If Chelsea women decided that their players are going to come out in crop tops,
exactly.
Crop top football kits.
They're doing the exact same thing. These men are wearing tight short. They're wearing tight short and tight t-shirts.
But also on top of that, like all of us think none of us are attracted to males in that way. Anyway, if we were attracted to males, then we will see football in a whole different light. Whereas
this is exactly my point. You're proving my point. It's because we see the females as attractive.
Just seeing them
that
attractive.
You think that they're sexualized.
The developer does extra stuff to make them sexualized.
Exactly. Yeah.
TJ, do you see my point of view?
I understand what you're trying to say here, but say like with Lara Croft, some of the costumes that she wears in the thing, there is no way that you can tell me that they have not done this to make her look sexy in any sort of way. There is no way.
And we've cut off at the remakes for you because you could not deny the old one was sexualized.
We have to look at is short shorts are effective for swimming and drying your clothes.
How can her husband reach further down her legs than her shorts?
Okay, I'll put it to you like this. Yeah, every single main outfit that Lara Croft wears, none of them are sexualized.
In the remake,
in every single remake,
you have to cut off at the remake. You have to cut off at the remake.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing in the past.
Them tight cargo pants and all of that.
My gosh, this guy said tight cargo
t-shirt and all that.
This guy,
are they not tight cargo pants?
They're not tight.
Nathan Drake.
Okay, so wait.
All of these clothes are tactical in that game.
Say that again.
If you look at her male equivalent, Nathan Drake, all of his clothes are tactical in that game. He doesn't have
Nathan Drake
top open rippling abs version of his.
Yes, he does. This guy literally has a necklace around his neck with his chest hair and his tight shirt, bro. Like he's got an open shirt and chest hair. Like let's not act as if Nathan Drake is like an average guy. Say that again.
Open Henley's different to a crop top.
It's the same thing, really and truly. Like Nathan Drake is a buff dude that is like supposed to be coming across
in the desert.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. You're saying that he's sexualized because he has that. There will be females that will look at Nathan Drake and think, "Oh my gosh, he's an attractive guy." The same way people will look at the main character in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and think, "Oh my gosh, he's an attractive guy." The same way that we do that to Cassandra. It's just that because it's our point of view.
Undone, I'm telling you, he had it undone because he's in the desert. Why was Lara Croft in a cold desert wearing a tank top? Cold forest wearing a tank top.
Who?
That's not tactical. Lara Croft.
Lara Croft. When was she doing that? When was she doing that?
In the Rise of the Tomb Raider? Not Rise. What was the first?
Rise.
The first one was. What was the first one?
The first one was in Yamatai.
It's
I can't remember the name, but she spent most of that game in a
tank
vest.
Top. Yeah, in a tank vest. Top. She's in a hot place. She was in a hot place.
No, because she spent most of the night shivering.
Look, she got stranded. It wasn't meant to be that she was stuck there.
Couldn't find the jacket.
Yeah, I don't know, innit? She couldn't find it. But all I'm saying is she got stranded off the boat. I don't even want to go into the plot of Tomb Raider because none of them are actually good. But
it doesn't even make sense. But yeah,
she got stranded and wasn't actually meant to be on that island. Whenever she's supposed to be somewhere, when she actually becomes the Tomb Raider, at the beginning of the Rise of the Tomb Raider, she's wearing a big ass jacket with a hood on. And she's not sexualized. What? Why is she not wearing a tank top then and shivering? Why is she not? She's just not sexualized. It's just that this is. Say that again. No, I was just gonna say characters now, they're not. None of them are, in my opinion. Like, it's just the way. It's just about perspective. Really and truly, go and look at Ryu. You may think, oh yeah, Chun-Li is sexualized. She's got some thick thighs like a black woman and stuff like that. And you're thinking, yeah, oh, she's sexualized. But then when you really think about it, you're not looking at Ryu and Ken and thinking, oh my gosh, these men have mad muscles and
they're wearing jeans
exactly. But this is what I'm saying.
She's wearing a geisha outfit to fight. What's going on? They're wearing actual fighting gear.
But Ryu is still.
I'm looking at Cammy now. She's wearing a leotard into a fight. Where's her protection? Cammy. She's wearing an actual leotard into a fight.
These characters were made when, yeah, sure, they were sexualized. But Ryu and Ken are still sexualized characters. They're big ass characters that are unrealistic and unattainable, really and truly, when it comes to muscle, unless you take steroids. They're still sexualized because that's what's attractive to females.
But their outfits make sense. What I'm saying is, when they sexualize the men, they just put them in and they make it make sense. When they sexualize women,
is it just outfits that are sexualized?
So, yeah, on top of it, yeah.
So is it just the outfits that are sexualized?
Purposeful. It's purposeful sexualization. It's not we've made a sexy character and put them in appropriate outfits. They've said this character's sexy, but let's do a bit more that people will like.
I just feel like that's not the case. But CJ, how do you feel? You've been quiet. You've been quiet for quite a while.
It's going to be hard for a lot of games that have been around for many years to all of a sudden change their character and just become PC all of a sudden and make sure everything is perfect. And at the end of the day, no matter what you put these characters in, someone's always going to be offended by it anyway. So, I mean, you could now decide, this isn't right and this is sexualized, but then ultimately you're giving into the pressure of that. You're labeling those individuals as that is sexualizing something. I mean, like if a woman was in her underwear, they'll say that's an uncomfortable situation. But if it was in a bathing suit, which is the same amount of clothing, they'll say that it's not sexualized. It's normal to walk around in that. So it's kind of like you ain't gonna win no matter what you do in it. At the end of the day, no matter what outfit you put that character in, if you made her body look more or less than what you would expect of a woman, someone's going to be annoyed by it. Like it's going to be hard to do that for a man. Unless you kind of, put a bulge in his trousers to a certain extent, like where you're really stripping it like that. But bar that, you mean, unless they're like topless or something. When it comes to the attraction, like when you're saying it for men, Tony, you're saying the attraction is always for the man's face, and he looks like that model style face. But when you're speaking about the women, you're not really speaking about their face. You're speaking about their body and their clothing. So you got to decide, well, actually, are they doing the same for the women where they're making them look a certain way in the face and they're doing the same for the men? Or is it that the clothing is the part that differentiates the sexualization of those characters?
I hear you. Okay, so when it comes to clothing, I feel like what would be to the point where they're not sexualizing, like what would be practical? What would be practical? What would be practical?
Ellie in The Last of Us 2, she was never sexualized in that game. She had a sex scene, but she was never sexualized. Abby was never sexualized in that game. She wore the same clothing as the men around her. It was tactical clothing because that's what they're meant to wear when they're going out. I think if you make it make sense, it's just this is a normal person who makes normal decisions. If they made it so that Abby decided to go out in a fight wearing a sports bra and shorts, that would be the problem.
Okay,
I think they made it make sense in a game like that.
Okay. So, what are the games that we feel have male representation and female representation, and that were made like today or like in the last few years that females were sexualized? Like, in my opinion, Freya. Is she sexualized? She's an attractive woman in the face, and she's wearing certain clothes. Is she sexualized? Are there other characters?
Even her, they made it make sense. Everyone's naked in that game. If everyone was wearing full body
He wasn't
outfit and she was
actually-
wearing a bikini. If you think the God of War himself walks around in
Okay,
tights,
okay. Give me examples
So it's
of.
not sexualized if everyone is looking the same.
if
Or
it's,
it is.
that was a period specific outfit that she was wearing, so it
Okay.
makes
Sagat
sense.
doesn't wear clothes. He wears shorts
Too.
and he's topless. Sagat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a TIE fighter, so he wears TIE fighting clothes.
Yeah, but then if a woman's fighting, like,
But no, but
TIE
Cammy is
he
a
wears
soldier
shorts and
who wears a leotard and boots.
Mm.
yeah.
That's how
Okay.
she's going to do
Look,
gymnastics.
What
What's the name?
characters?
In Tekken.
Tight clothing, her tight clothing, she'll be wearing less than because she'll wearing shorts and a sports bra
No,
and
but
no shoes.
you'll be
So
given
there's
her
more clothing on her,
clothing for
but
her fighting. It's
Okay,
not about how much clothing you put on her. It's about the fact that you changed the outfit to make it more sexualized than it should be.
What
If she was
characters?
a
What
TIE fighter,
characters?
she would be wearing a bra and
What
shorts.
What characters now in today's games do we feel were made and are sexualized? Both, maybe either or, in the face or like with the clothes
Hard
that
to
they
say in
wear,
the face. You're just using a
or
model.
even body type. Because I feel like the majority of males that we play as are
I think it's gotten a
sexualized
lot
body
better.
type. When it's not, I don't feel like it's happening now, and I just feel like that's just the case.
yeah, I
man.
think that phase is gone. Yeah, I think that whole
It still happens massively in fighting games.
Fighting games is fighting games. They're usually made by Japanese people. If you go and watch, anime, you'll literally see like people grabbing titties and stuff like that in anime. So these Japanese people, they're different, innit? I don't feel like in today's society that happens
What,
It's
outside of
hard to say.
Japan and outside of like
It's-
games and characters that were made back in the day. It just
The
doesn't
problem
happen.
is, it's a lot harder to find games where there's a lot of women in it.
Now we're going passive
I'm
aggressive.
looking at my list.
There's not even enough women to even think about it. Like, I don't know.
PlayStation are very good with it. So all of the games I'm looking at where I'm seeing women, it's all PlayStation games.
are they just because they're the games you bought? Because you don't like to buy women main character games.
No, what women games? Because if you name them, I could guarantee that I have most of them.
Oh, sorry.
Bayonetta is hypersexualized.
Bayonetta. You feel like Bayonetta is
She
sexualized?
dressed by her hair and she keeps getting naked when she does.
Again, Japanese. Don't count. Don't count.
Of course it counts.
Japanese is just void.
Yeah, Japanese. Nah, seriously, Japanese is just void. They're just different, bro. They're different with it. Seriously, but yeah, I just
I'm
don't.
trying to find games with women in them when I'm looking at my shelf.
When you do, you'll realize that they're not sexualized anymore.
I'm trying to see. You're gonna say that's from the past, so it doesn't count.
No, but even still,
Tifa's
males are
very-
doing the same thing. This guy's wearing a tight shirt.
No, but all of the men
He's got
have full
blonde
clothes
hair,
on.
blue eyes. He's better looking than any guy I've ever seen in the world. Like,
No, but all of the men
big
have
ass
full trousers
arms.
on because they're soldiers. Why is she wearing shorts?
who?
Why Tifa?
Breasts.
Why she got massive breasts? She's got
She was made in the 90s. She was made in the 90s
that's
by
what I'm saying,
Japanese
saying it's
people.
from the
No, but
They
no,
had the
but
chance to change that, but they didn't.
no, I'm just saying, didn't it? They wanted to keep it the same, and it was made back in the day by Japanese people. That is probably the worst or worst example. Japanese and back in the day. Come on, man. Wait.
The point was that women are sexualized, and they have been throughout gaming. You could argue. I would argue myself. It's gotten a lot better, especially with major developers. Even if you look at Kate in Gears of War, she does wear full armor. If that name was made in 2006, she might have been wearing a breastplate, and that's it.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I think it's gotten a lot better, but it's still there. And the problem is, it's still there.
I feel like we've
Even if
had a
it's
good
just the
debate.
Yeah, I think it's becoming less. I think that's the main thing. It's becoming less. I wouldn't say that they're not sexualized, but is
It's
happening.
improving.
Yeah, it's
You can only
happening.
get away
far
with
less.
so much
Yeah.
now. That's why.
Yeah.
I'll get away with what you could get away with before. So.
But
Yeah,
going back
yeah.
to the original thing of women in games, I think that's a problem. Ubisoft has put that out there for all of games when it's them. If you look at their games, it's always men. And when they had the chance to implement women, they said, nah, let's add a man in as an option. I think that's an Ubisoft problem that they're trying to push onto the gaming industry.
I'm trying to think what's a game that they actually No.
They have one standalone female game I can remember, and that's the side Assassin's Creed game, the side-scrolling one that was one of the 3 mini adventures. Every other game is men or man and woman.
Was that Chronicles or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the Chronicles games. But if you look at all of the Far Cry's is men. I think in the number 5 you can make your character, so that changed. I think I made a black man in that, which I do if I get given a choice. First playthrough black man, second playthrough black woman.
I think Ubisoft are probably
They're one of the worst.
Yeah, I think they probably
they don't like making. Even EA has the whole Mirror's Edge series, which features a woman as the main character who takes out a bunch of men. I guess some men don't find it believable that a woman can do that.
I don't know. I think you're very right. It's very weird that they don't have any, or like a proper game like that.
They don't like to do it. It's weird. Even the villain. Yeah. The villains are all men apart from the woman who was a side villain to Voss in number 3, I want to say. Voss's sister.
Yeah.
And then you had sex with her in the game because women are sexual objects, apparently.
Well, there was a reason for it, man. You needed your baby to continue the legacy, man.
Like
That's logic.
She just been a villain like her brother who wants to kill you. And the worst part is you could have sex with her and then kill her. This is going back to GTA of killing prostitutes. The game is a mess sometimes, man.
It is where it is. Do we have any closing statements on the whole podcast before we end it? I feel like that was
Ghost of Tsushima is overrated.
Unlucky Ums. I was right. Just not
rated.
No, sorry, I just got Tony, you always have this I was right, but you know he's only battling himself. Like before game comes out, he'll be like, this game is gonna be an 8, and then it'll come out. No one will say anything about it. And he'll be like, I told you.
I was trying to say that it was gonna be an 8. It was an 8.
What is that you're wrong? You're doing it by our group, us 4. But if you look at the internet, it's been rated 9.3 out of 10 by users.
Us 4 is a true representation of gaming. That's it. Yeah,
that's it.
That is the worst representation. 3 black men from the same area, the same console. What's representation?
No, it's a true representation. Yeah,
so you agree with me though? It is. The game is overrated. It's just
not
rated.
Rated, correct? It's a very good game. It does some stuff better than so many of.
It's a good game. It's just an 8 out of 10, and I was right. But
an action game that does combat outright better than this.
I'll probably have a few. Bayonetta.
I don't think
they cry.
It's very button mashing.
Nah, it's not. I don't even like those games.
I like Bayonetta.
Come on.
I could say it's more button mashing than this. Not as deep.
You know.
Not as punishing.
Okay, Bayonetta 2, maybe. Bayonetta 1, nah. I don't think you're bugging.
Devil May Cry. You don't even like Devil May Cry.
Exactly. I'm saying I don't like it, but I can see that
it's not better than this.
It is. But yeah, we'll close it as that because I feel like CJ is ready to go to sleep. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you got to this point, we appreciate it. Again, if we can get to like 10 likes, we would really appreciate that as well. Subscribe if you're watching at this point as well. And we will catch you on Monday, probably.
We'll stream.
Take care. Yeah, take care.